all of the delusions, the grand delusions of the Democratic Party.
There are so many.
Of which there are many.
It really just tells you everything about the state of the Democratic Party, right? Like
Yeah.
that opposition to Donald Trump is their one motivating factor.
Former vice presidential nominee Tim Walz has an occasion for such fibs.
But I would also say just sort of in general, if you got to tell people you're a historic figure, you aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's
Right.
like, it's not like George Washington was crossing the Delaware and he was like, I am making history today.
Why was the government shut down? Because big insurance greed knows no limits. The same insurance companies pocketing billions in profits were demanding billions more in taxpayer-funded subsidies again, putting millions of families at risk, shutting down our government. Now, unless they get their billions, the big insurance companies are threatening to raise your premiums even more, putting greed and profit before patients. It's time to hold them accountable.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs.
It's time for our main event.
Fun Time Friday! Welcome back to the Ruthless Variety Program. We're down a man, our delicate flower, comfortably smug, not feeling well. He's not feeling well. You know, it happens around the holidays. But I'd like to invite you, the viewer, to join us for the next hour where we discuss all of the delusions, the grand delusions of the Democratic Party.
There are so many.
Of which there are many. Many to discuss and get in detail about.
Many such cases.
It's a fun time.
It is.
We're going to have a fun time on this show. You guys are going to love it. We're going to play a game. We're going to bring Dem or Journo back today.
It's a good one. It's
Yeah.
a good one, but we do miss our friend. We miss him so.
We miss him greatly.
Yeah.
You know,
He has the seasonal sniffles.
he does.
And he's had COVID like 5 or 6 times.
yeah.
I don't think that's what he has this time. I think it's much worse.
You never
Poor guy.
know. You never know.
He said he lost his voice, which is difficult for a guy who's already blind.
The senses are falling by the wayside. No question about it. We want to get right into it because we're going to go fast and furious through a whole bunch of things here, all of which I think you're going to be delighted to hear about. It starts with Gavin Newsom, one of our favorites here on the program, because this guy steps in shit almost each and every week. And when he does, it's more magnificent than your average Democrat because they're so demonstrably false. He's such a sociopathic.
Yeah, he's the Patrick Bateman of American politics.
Yeah, I feel like that's right. So he was discussing, the Palisades Fire. Of course, that's a huge stain on his administration and the way that they handled all of that. But his own personal experience, of course,
Yeah.
like any good Democratic politician, you can make anything about yourself. Right?
That's what they do.
It's like eulogies become about them.
Oh, sure.
It's a great history of Democrats making everything about themselves.
Yes. And so too does Gavin Newsom. Clip one, please.
I was up there in the hills with these guys, and we all turned around when my hair literally burst on. There's a video of it. And they threw me in the car. The guy hits my hair and throws me in the car and says, "Get the fuck out of here."
Oh, yeah, I know. You got to add that little flourish in there. Yeah, fuck, look at how serious and manly I am.
Yeah, he talks about it like he's on a JSOC operation in the Horn of Africa.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's with a security team, like, standing out front, looking at somebody's burning home. He's like, wow, what a shame.
Yeah.
And then he gets back in the car.
Just the worst.
And by the way, I don't think the guy was hitting it on his head because he was on fire. It's just, he was like, this is my opportunity.
Yeah. Cuffing stuff.
So we actually have found video of the moment that he's talking about.
You're kidding.
Yeah, right here on the program. We've found video of it. It turns out a little different than what he has explained. Clip 2. There he is, checking out the fires.
Oh,
That's it.
okay. That's where it was supposed to be on fire. I didn't see a fire on his head.
Yeah, it
there.
turns out there was no fire on his head.
Feels like a real stolen valor episode there.
Yeah, no, I think
Here it
that's
is
right.
again.
To the extent that valor is associated with hair on fire type things.
I do see hair in the wind.
Yeah.
Look nice, but it kind of reminds me of that Do you remember that story that Hillary Clinton famously
Yes,
told?
the Bosnia.
About getting off the helicopter in Bosnia or getting off the plane on the tarmac, and they were under fire.
Yes.
And this is like a famous story that she told in her various political campaigns, and then the footage actually came out, and it was more like a welcomed greeting.
100%. Same thing happened to Brian Williams. Remember the former NBC anchor of their evening news broadcast?
I do remember that.
He had a similar story about being shot at, and it turns out they had the whole thing on film. No shooting. No shooting.
One of my favorite things about not seeing all of the videos before we do the show is that you get to experience this at the same time that the audience experiences it. And I mean, could we play it just one more time?
Yeah.
Because
you found something?
Well, not exactly. There is just no. Now we're looking at asphalt, and it pans up to Gavin Newsom. Like there's not even a question. Like there's not a lick of flame. There's not a spark.
Well, there's not fire anywhere near him.
No.
Yeah.
So on what planet does he think he's going to get away with this kind of lie? Only if you're a Democrat and you've gotten away with lies for your entire career.
They let you do it.
They let you do it.
And they do it in secret.
They do.
Can I
They
point
get
out
away with it.
Can I point out my observation from this thing? Let's play it one more time. Okay, that's it. Let's get that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I noticed. As a heterosexual man in America, I generally don't roll around with both of my hands in my butt pockets.
Yep.
With the thumbs out.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a masculine stance.
No. No.
I noticed that.
Yeah, no, but he's got that's a pose right there. He's examining, of course, all of the critical detail that he and his government are going to do to stop this said wildfire. By the way, they just devastated the entire area.
Right.
They didn't do a damn thing about it.
But when he tells the story, you're ready to believe it. You're like, oh, this guy puts so much gel in his hair, it probably just spontaneously combusts 2 or 3 days a week naturally.
Yeah.
But then they show this situation, and it's like
There's no fire anywhere near
He's
it.
completely lying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's not the only one, fellas. The former vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, has an occasion for such fibs, as they say.
Okay.
Right? I mean, he's a head football coach.
No, Newt Rockney. He led his high school team to a national college championship. They were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Well, they know how to run a pick six, according to him. And then there was he was at Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Right. I do remember that.
Well, he's settled on what it is that scares Republicans.
Can't wait to hear
about him, his presence. He has been unclear about why it is that Republicans are concerned about his leadership. It wasn't the Somali fraud. It wasn't the tampons in the men's bathroom.
Or the strange jazz hands.
Or the strange jazz hands. Or, just this sort of effeminate way of
the weird
handling
clapping.
himself. Right.
Yeah.
None of that.
None of that.
Here's what it is. Clip 3.
But I think this notion of toxicity and masculinity needs to be separated, and I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them. I think I scare them a little bit why they spend so much time on this. No, I'm serious, because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshitting on this.
Yeah.
I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching. My identity is not, a beard and a truck.
Okay, well, that's not what he presented to everybody, because remember, he put on a camo hat when he was running for office. And remember when he was wrestling with the shotgun trying to figure out how to put the shells in. And remember when he was telling all of us that he is indeed a football coach. So what he just said was the exact opposite of the way he tried to portray himself last fall.
Well, his identity is $5 billion of fraud in the Somali community. He's afraid to confront, coupled with skipping down the stage. We all saw it.
We did.
We know what's going on there.
We do. We do know everybody saw it with their own eyes.
We know what's going on. This guy, but very afraid. That's what we're afraid about.
Yeah, terrified.
Yeah,
of that masculinity.
All that masculinity coming at us.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll do with all that masculinity. So his running mate also had a little issue this week.
Oh boy,
you're gonna love this. This is actually one of my favorites that we've dealt with in a while from her, because she's always saying something. Anytime somebody gives her the opportunity, she's going to take it and run, and it's always a scene out of Veep. Always. I mean, for those of you who are new to the program, we used to play a game, Veep or Veep, when she started. And we ran out of the HBO show's Veep Selena Meyer quotes to compete with her real quotes. Because the game was you had to tell the difference, which was the fictional character, which was your actual vice president. And we ran out.
We ran out of the ridiculous quotes from the fake show.
The comedy show.
The comedy show.
Where
The vice president provided way more comedy than the show provided.
Well, she's got another one now. Graphic one, please. I'm a historic figure.
Oh boy.
She's enjoying the freedom. This is according to the New York Times article that covered what she was having to say. She's enjoying the freedom from what she calls the transactional constrictions of campaigning, of asking people for a vote. That was the transactional component. Well, most people just see like that as
democracy.
Yeah. It's a funny little thing about democracy. You make a pitch, they like it or they don't. That's a transactional constriction.
Oh,
yeah. Well, she's such a great leader. You know, the problem is that America wouldn't follow. That's America is the problem. She's a historical figure.
They've made themselves quite clear on that. America has been the problem with misogynist, racist primarily. Those two things in particular were a real problem for her. This is the New York Times.
Okay.
Her place in history is already secure. And she knows it. I understand the focus on 28 and all of that, she said in the interview. Quote, but there will be a marble bust of me in Congress. I'm a historic figure like any vice president of the United States ever was. Unquote. So, like, look, I'm of the belief, we were Midwesterners. We grew up that way. Maybe this is just like a regional thing that is hard for us to comprehend. But it was always one of those things where our settled view of these situations is when you have an individual telling you how great they are or how historic they are, that is telling on themselves about what is actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's a humility to the Midwest culture, I would say.
Yeah.
But I would also say just sort of in general, if you got to tell people you're a historic figure, you aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know, it's like, it's not like George Washington was crossing the Delaware and he was like, I am making history today. You know, like that's just not a thing that happened.
Come with me, fellows. We're crossing the Delaware and making history.
Here's the thing. I continue to believe that the establishment Democrats who are overrepresented in major media organizations, I continue to believe that they do not want Tim Walz or Kamala Harris anywhere near the main stage in 2028. And I feel like the description in this New York Times article proves my point. Listen to how they describe it, okay? They say her place in history is already secure and she knows it. Okay, they're not overwriting that. They are leading the reader to the point where they're like,
history.
Okay, she's an idiot. Her place in history, as unsaid here, her place in history is already secure. She's an idiot. That's been secure.
That's been
okay.
Yeah, I think you might be giving them too much credit.
No, I think this is exactly. This is David Allen Coe sentence structure. Her place in history is already secure, and she knows it. You know what? Like this sentence structure has been used before, and it leaves just a little bit to the interpretation of the reader, enough that people are like, I'm telling you, the New York Times doesn't want either of these people as their candidate in 28.
History being the key word in that sentence. Yeah.
Why? But I guess my question in all of this is why? Like, who is begging for Kamala Harris to reemerge?
You roll out of the rack, you wipe the sleep out your eye, you get the slippers on, you're stumbling.
Where's Kamala today?
And you're like, God, you know what I've wondered?
I need to know.
What is Kamala Harris up to? It's not a behind the music. She's only been gone like a year.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, I mean, nobody thinks
Is that like a tough job, you know, being the press secretary for someone like Kamala Harris? Because, like, you're allowed to take a pitch and say no to an interview. You don't have to.
I think it is a tough job because you also have a subject, a principal here who wants to be relevant when everyone knows she's not.
Yeah.
Right, and the way, just back to my earlier point, the way that the New York Times would have written this 18 months ago was very different. right? They would have pumped her up. And now, to your question about, like, is it difficult to be her press secretary in this era where the mainstream press wants her off the stage? Yes, it's very difficult. 18 months ago, it wasn't a job at all because the job was being done by the press for them.
So this sentence would have read, with her place in history already secure,
Yes.
Kamala Harris is reaching for new plot of land.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Exactly. It would have been aspirational. It would have been reaching for the future.
Oh, you're right. You convinced me. I was very skeptical when you started on this, but I think you're right about that.
This is more proof they're done with her.
Because
they want somebody else.
The way this reads to me is like
I take it literally.
it's like aging quarterback returns to his old high school with a Letterman jacket on.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exactly right,
You
but that's
know?
not how they wrote it in the summer of 2024.
Yeah, right.
No.
Everything was like, we're making history here.
Yeah,
It's very perceptive. That's why he's
that's why.
That's why he's the guy. That's why he's the first
He's the Journo
White House
buddy.
correspondent
That's
for all podcasts across America. A history maker. His place in history already secure.
Where is Ashbrook's bust? That's what I want to know.
Wolf, let's build a bust for the first podcaster to ask a question at the White House
In Statuary Hall.
briefing. Yeah.
Put it in there.
Yep.
I don't think Al Gore got his statue until like 30 years after he left
It's
office.
taken longer and longer
Yeah.
to get the busts
Yeah.
done. That's a topic for another day anyway. It's a grievance,
Yeah.
perhaps, that we'll get to. All right, so when we come back, there's the most delusional Democrat on the scene today, Jasmine. Old Jazz. Jasmine Crockett. She launched her whole campaign this week, and how she launched it, you got to see, because you're just not going to believe it. I think this is the first time in history we've had a jazz Tuesday, Thursday, Friday component.
But she's so much fun.
But she's so much fun that you can't leave it out. And you guys are going to love every second of that. We've got that and a lot more clips right after this.
I am a coach and an alum of Girls on the Run. Kids today carry a lot of stress, from school pressure to social isolation to overuse of devices. We create a space where girls can connect, build confidence, and learn skills like managing emotions, setting goals, and speaking up. Each child's experience is different, and families need support. I'm proud to be part of a comprehensive solution to youth mental health. Get involved today at EmpowerOurFutureCoalition.com.
Okay, Jazz Crockett.
Jazzy.
Jazz. So it turns out when most people try to launch a campaign, they make it aspirational. They make it about what it is that they're trying to accomplish, how they can lead in a different way than's being currently led, and provide more opportunity, better times for the people who are going to cast a ballot. And there's one golden rule of politics, which is you never repeat the charges against you, ever. Right? Because all it does is validate the critiques at some point in a viewer or voter's mind. You're going to have to indulge whatever those critiques are, at least rattle them around in your head, even if you're predisposed not to believe them. You're going to have to think about it in the context of an otherwise supposed to be accepting and promotional video. You can't do that. Right? It's a golden rule of politics. Everybody talks about it. It's like you never, even in quotes. Remember, I mean, this is like early on in our press days. Be like, you never repeat the charge in the first sentence of a quote, because all you're doing is
Reinforcing
using
it, yeah.
time and reinforcing whatever.
101.
Well, Jazz Crockett's team didn't get that memo. Turns out all of the worst things that the president of the United States has said about this individual are like her feature. Check out this clip, clip 4.
How about this new one they have, their new star, Crockett? How about her?
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person.
This is a video of her
Crockett.
slowly blinking.
Oh, man, oh, man.
Oh, she turns to the camera
She's a
dramatically.
very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding. Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
She just crossed her arms.
And then smiles, and then that's it. The
Yep.
cut, right?
Yep.
So I guess I understand at some level what she's going. Her only brand that she's selling is like the furthest reaches, the far left, the resistance crew. That anything that Donald Trump says that they hate just instinctively. She's running in the state of Texas.
Right.
Donald Trump has carried it 3 times. Right. And she is making a case that she is a general election candidate in the state of Texas, and she opens up with the guy who carried her state 3 times saying the most horrific things about her that you could ever say.
And what does that say about her talent? She walks in to speak with her consultant. She's like, hey, I have this stump speech I've been given over and over again on MSNBC and everything else, and here's what I want to say in our first ad. They're like, why don't we cut that back a little bit? And she's like, okay, I'm going to cut out half of it. And she's like, okay, I'm going to do this part. And they're like, why don't we cut that part out a little bit too? And she's like, all right, I'm just going to do this one sentence. And they're like, no. We don't want you to talk, okay? We don't want you to say a single thing on your announcement video. Trust us. It's
just
better
smile
this way.
real nice, Jazzy.
Don't talk. Don't talk.
It's the most misogynistic thing you can come up with, right? But it's her own peeps.
It's her own
But it really just tells you everything about the state of the Democratic Party, right? Like that opposition to Donald Trump is their one motivating factor in evaluating a candidate.
Even in a reliably red state of Texas.
Well, I mean, she has to win the primary before she wins the general, and she's going to win either. She has to raise a boatload of money, and how do you do that? You don't do that talking about what Jazzy Crockett.
I mean, she's running against what, Pastor OnlyFans?
Yeah,
is that guy still in the race?
Tellerico.
Yeah,
I think he is.
Pastor OnlyFans. I just
you like
made
that?
myself laugh.
Exactly, dude. It's really good. It's really. I want to see her fist fight Tellerico.
Oh yeah,
like they should. Yeah, she would.
Yeah,
and maybe that should decide their primary.
Maybe that should do it. But she's not done with the rollout, right? That's just like kind of the thing. Maybe it was just designed for, sort of the online digital.
Yeah, small dollar fundraising,
right?
And all
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, let's see, like what else she got. Maybe this is more thoughtful. Maybe it's more designed to appeal to the people in Lubbock or El Paso or wherever in Texas. Clip 5, please.
Okay. She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Always willing to go toe-to-toe against the president.
What?
I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids. They protect folks touching them. Trump invaded his own country with our army. What a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. But y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing, buddy. Think again. They only trying to scare out of running because they think she'll win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot. Jasmine Crockett.
Okay.
Y'all hear the words.
He's lost his place.
Oh no.
He's lost his place. So what that was rapper Cameron McLeod. I haven't seen him on the top 50 at any point, but apparently he's quite popular.
Well, once again, you have Jasmine Crockett's consultants letting somebody else do the talking.
Yeah, not Jasmine.
They do not want her to say a single word.
Yeah. Well, he's apparently concocted this rap song where at the end of it there, when he was like, you could hear the words, they had the song that he had recorded playing, and he was doing that over top of it. He couldn't finish the song.
Well, not only could he not finish the song, but I just got to say, as someone who's attended a lot of political events, generally the musical guest is what gets the crowd going.
It sounded pretty quiet.
It
sounded pretty quiet.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of fanfare,
no,
shall we say. Anyway, that was at the launch rally. He forgot the words to the song. He let it play for the rest of the thing, and he polished it up himself with the old pre-record, which is not something you typically see in some kind of a launch. But she's not done with this guy.
Okay.
He's still working with him. Clip 6, please.
She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who else willing to go toe-to-toe against the president? I can't wrap
So
my
this is
head
her
around
sitting
someone who votes Republican.
with a cell
She
phone in her
advocates
hand
for feeding
next to him on a
kids.
couch.
They was touching them. Trump invaded his own country with a
And she's
army.
pretending, I think, to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
And then she's like, now not talking on the phone, but not looking at him.
No.
What are we doing there?
Once again,
not talking.
Not talking. Okay. Her consultants have concluded that their best path to victory is to not let their candidates speak to the voters.
Well, the good people of Nacogdoches are going to be probably persuaded to take a second look. Good jazzy jazz.
Exactly. And Colin Allred, who is the Democrat that dropped out
because she got in.
Because she got in. He's like, are you kidding me with this?
I'm losing to this?
Right. He's like, on what planet?
Meanwhile, Pastor OnlyFans is like, I got a shot. Yeah. I got a real shot.
Dude, I love Pastor OnlyFans.
I mean, holy cats.
So
what
funny.
in the world? So it leads us to our question of the day. Which Democrat delusion is the most grand? We covered a lot this week. We went from Obamacare is the failure of it is Republicans' fault, despite the fact that they owned and operated it from soup to nuts and then subsidized it and then couldn't figure out how the premiums kept going up. So they're like, well, let's just subsidize it again.
Yeah.
But somehow that was Republicans that did that. We also talked about how do we get all this inflation?
Yeah, Donald Trump did it.
Oh, my gosh. Incredible. I mean, we did 9.1 on our watch, and now it's going the other direction, but we're concerned about affordability.
We got a great Demer Journo coming up on this very subject.
I can't wait.
I love that it's on this topic. Thank you for the hint. I'll plan accordingly.
Good tease.
But that's our question to you. When you like and subscribe to the Ruthless Variety program, we read all of your comments. And our question of the day this time, which Democrat delusion is the most grand? Could do with the border. Probably like men and women's locker rooms or women's sports, stuff like that. I mean, that really hits a chord with us. Anyway, your ideas are all welcome.
Maybe it's that Kamala Harris is a historic figure. I love this question so much.
We've covered a lot of ground here today. Could be any of those. So do it, like and subscribe. Get those questions in. We'll get back to you the very next episode on Tuesday. Remember that while you're doing that, throw in another thing because we're doing this Q&A deal. First time we've done this at the end of the year, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to take all your questions. You've done this for the last 3 episodes where you're throwing these questions in. We're logging them. Like, there's a long sheet where we're all putting them in, and hopefully we can get to most, if not all of them. You can ask us absolutely anything, and we're going to do a couple of episodes responding to your questions.
I've seen some of the questions that have come in so far. It's incredible.
Yeah.
These episodes are going to be so good, and it's just so long in coming. I mean, people have been asking us to do something like this for years.
Totally.
I mean, we've been at this for years. And every single year at the end of the year, we're like, hey, wrapping up everything. And people are like, you got to do a Q&A. You got to do a Q&A. So the second we start saying we're doing it, you guys are right. We're doing the Q&A.
Yeah.
These questions that are coming in, dude.
Good stuff.
I've looked at them. Incredible.
Great.
I will say our resident Marine marched into our office today and had a schedule for the holidays of things that we're going to do. Because remember, we don't take days off.
No.
We don't take. We're going to hear it sing and dance and entertain all the way through.
Yes.
And what he had as a schedule and the things that we're doing, you're not going to want to miss. Some of the most fun stuff that we've done, I think, all year are coming up here between now and New Year's. So don't miss an episode, but get those questions in. And while you're at it, plan ahead and get some Z-Biotics. We all know the holiday season. We all know the fun to be had. Cocktail parties, fun with family, all kinds of different reasons for Z-Biotics. But it's the first pre-alcohol drink that I think has ever worked. And we've tried it out on the program.
We have, and when you are going to indulge, you think when you don't feel good the next day, you're dehydrated, right? This is what everybody thinks. Oh, I didn't drink enough water before I went to bed. But that's not really true. What happens is when you break down alcohol into your system, it creates this toxic byproduct. And Z-Biotics knocks that right out.
It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic.
And our good friend Smug always passes these out
it's so
everywhere
good.
we go. And I've never heard of a person who he's given it to who has not come back the next day.
I just got
and
another
said,
one last night.
Oh, did you really?
Yep. I just got another one last night of somebody who we met along the way somewhere who was like, hey, Smug gave me one of these things. I took it. I feel great this morning. It's fantastic.
It's why we say there's no tomorrow without Z-Biotics today.
That's exactly right. It's a pre-alcohol drink, so you drink it before you indulge for the evening. You got to drink responsibly, of course. Of course. but that's part of the deal. Anyway, you go to zbiotics.com/ruthless to learn more, and you get 15% off your first order when you use Ruthless at the checkout. ZBiotics is backed by 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason at all, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head at zbiotics.com/ruthless and use Ruthless at the checkout for 15% off. All right, fellas. Question of the day from Thursday. What economic stat? That was, by the way, kind of a serious episode.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we covered a lot of good ground because there's so much misinformation out there. Like level setting was really important. Every once in a while, we got to do something
A
like
little
that.
candy, a little vegetables.
Yeah, that was kind of a veggie-heavy first couple of segments anyway. So our question of the day was, what economic stat is going to be most impactful for the midterms? When you like and subscribe, we read all of them. And to start with all of that, we always start with a voice.
Okay, one of the things I love about our audience is everybody is honest about what they're seeing, what they're thinking. Comment 1 comes from Rod SM8. Rod writes, Republicans are in trouble on the economy because voters don't, quote, feel confident on the future. The prices are one side of the story, and the other side of the story is the employment upheaval of large layoffs and the threat of AI. It's hard to put faith in the Republican response because the president and Congress messaging appears to be scattered. They need to commit to a consistent message that is repeated often with supporting facts.
Rod, you are singing off our hymnal, brother. That is exactly right. You're exactly right. There's a story to tell, but you all got to get in the choir and you got to sing it together.
Right.
And I think the president might have started that this week in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I hope it continues. Comment 2, Dunks Runks.
Comment 2 is from Cole Garrett. Cole writes, I don't think wage growth or inflation are good stats to bring to the midterms. Unfortunately, not everyone can put a finger on that. I know it's basic, but things like gas prices and groceries are things that almost everyone can relate to.
Yep.
It's a great comment. And we talked about this on the previous episode about putting the economy in real terms that families can relate to. And I think that's super, super important.
It is super important. Great comment. All right, the third one's from Reaganite. The price of gas is the only indicator that truly matters. Every American feels that pain at least once a week and knows what the difference is between $30 and $60. That is exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's the only thing that matters, but I know that matters a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and it matters disproportionately, I think, because you got to stand there.
Yep.
And you got to watch the numbers tick up.
Yeah.
And you know what a gallon of gas costs when you have to stand there for that 2-3 minutes while the tank fills up.
Yeah, you're watching and you're like,
You're watching
"Jesus."
it. Yeah.
Well, I also think it's indicative of the Democratic critiques, if you notice. They're always commodity specific, right? It started this administration. They were like, look at the price of eggs. It was like, okay, like we're going to have toast this week, I guess. You know, like I'm not saying that you should have a high price. It's not a necessity. Gas is a necessity for millions of Americans who have to commute to and from a way to make money on it, pick up kids, that kind of thing. Like it's an important component. And then they're like, oh, look at the price of beef, the one commodity unlike chicken or pork that is up. You know, I mean, like, okay, like if that's a prohibition, I don't love it, but we have to figure out a way to fix it. But there are other choices. In terms of the necessities, energy, electricity bill, gas, like all the things that are necessities, we've seen forward progress on. I think Smug mentioned last episode, mortgage
Rates down 12%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the things that are crucial to your average American are all heading in the right direction. And they cherry pick. They're like, oh, have you seen the price of almonds? And like they try to make your barometer on the economy like the cashew. And it's like, dude, it's just so dishonest.
Yeah.
Well, it's also very different from the way they talked about things when Joe Biden was president.
Yeah, right. Right.
Which you are going to love in Demer Journo coming right up.
Another tease.
I love it. So we've got Demer Journo on the way. There's also a dramatic capture off the coast of Venezuela of an oil tanker that was headed to Iran, evidently. Turns out we have something to say about all of that. And you'll get to it right after this.
Why was the government shut down? Because big insurance greed knows no limits. The same insurance companies pocketing billions in profits were demanding billions more in taxpayer-funded subsidies again, putting millions of families at risk, shutting down our government. Now, unless they get their billions, the big insurance companies are threatening to raise your premiums even more, putting greed and profit before patients. It's time to hold them accountable.
All right, so as you know, there's been a bit of an issue in Venezuela, and it's up to interpretation based on the mainstream media or the Trump administration exactly what's going on. What we do know is narco-terrorists have been blown out of the water. Hats off from my standpoint. I think the majority of Americans. But there's also something going on with Venezuela palling around with terrorists. And one of those things is a tanker traveling from Venezuela to Iran. And you might ask yourself why it is that oil is going from an oil country to another oil country. The story, we were like, I don't know if we can do this because I don't really understand it. Well, it turns out you can't refine crude oil in Venezuela. Nice to have your number one export, something you can't actually do. What a hell of a country.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd prioritize something like that.
What an economy.
What an economy.
Yeah,
anyway.
no, it's like Canadians trying to win the Stanley Cup.
Jeez. Wow. That's a heavy blast for
Had to do it.
friends north of the border. Anyway, so there's a tanker coming out. You got to see this clip 7. There's this massive tanker. Here come the United States military.
Oh, wow. They're fast roping out of the helicopter?
Yeah. Coming down onto the tanker.
It's like this is like a Call of Duty mission.
Totally.
Wow.
You don't see, the reason we want to play this is you don't see this very often.
You don't.
You know, I mean, this is the kind of thing that you see like 10 years afterwards. But they go in, they seize the tanker, because of course there's an embargo. We're stopping this kind of thing.
You know, it's one of the things I love about the current era of Trump is that there is full transparency on everything. And you know, some people complain, I don't want to see this, I don't want to know it. But the reality is it's happening, and he is showing you what is happening rather than leaving it up to the New York Times and the Washington Post to describe it in their most Dem-friendly terms.
Well, also, you know, I mean, just for those drug boats, for example, a perfect example of the way the Democrats operate in Washington, D.C., is that the administration volunteers the mission. They show the mission of them blowing these drug boats out of the water. And of course, like the Democrats are like, oh no, these are just like fishermen, local fishermen. They're just hanging out. And of course, that's not what it is. There's high-level intelligence confirming that those boats are full of cocaine or fentanyl or whatever. But as soon as they think that there's more to the story, like maybe a second shot, now we want to see all of it. I don't want to see it. Now I want to see all of it. You know, so then now you can hear like a refrain from crime. Release the whole video.
Yeah.
You know, and everything else is like, why would you release the video?
Yeah.
Release the whole. It's just also transparently political and shitty.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's exactly what they do.
Anyway, it's an interesting story. We're going to have to keep following it. I think I was on Special Report the other night. Brett asked about, you know, is this like, are we going to war with Venezuela? And I guess my take on that was like, I don't know. I mean, I know that we've got a huge problem. And it's been up to this point a hugely bipartisan consensus that Maduro and the regime in Venezuela is no good in the hemisphere and is causing an awful lot of problems. This is, of course, like every other issue, the first president that's actually dealing with it, and they don't like to talk about it. They don't like to deal with it. But I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, if we're going to commit American assets in any real way, you're going to have to make a case for it to the American public, because most people have not been let in on that conversation. We know about the drug boats. We know about fentanyl. I don't know anybody who doesn't know somebody who had a relative or a friend who was a victim of fentanyl.
Tearing our country apart.
That part's easy to explain. The whole regime change and everything else probably requires a fulsome discussion with the American public. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, right? Like, it's entirely two separate things. And as you know, guys who grew up in the era of Iraq and Afghanistan, and seeing regime change wars and like how American assets get committed to open-ended missions rather than like what the military is designed to do.
Yep.
You know, it does concern you that like, you know, maybe that's outside the remit of something we can accomplish. But you're in a situation where like if you break it, you buy it, right?
Yeah, totally.
And so
especially in your own hemisphere.
Especially, well, I'm a big fan of the Monroe Doctrine, but I know its limitations.
Yeah, I think that's right. Well said, old man. Well said. You guys want to hear about AOC's campaign?
Absolutely.
This is always great, right? I mean, every year, maybe not quarterly, but certainly it feels like at least twice a year, there's something that pops up. Remember the dress and the tickets to the Met Ball?
Yeah, tax the rich.
Yeah. I mean, there's something that just flies in the face of her, like, vow of poverty that she takes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's just a bartender. Went to BU. Right. But she's got, like, this is her whole life. And this is most liberals' whole life. Bernie Sanders and PJs, things like that.
Right.
Anyway, her
not pajamas, private jets.
Well, remember, it was millionaires and billionaires, and then he ran for president again, and then it was just billionaires.
Yeah, because he became a millionaire.
Yeah, funny how that
He
works.
sold a lot of books.
Yeah, the revolution was good to him.
Yeah, it's amazing. You build a couple million people on a small dollar list, and then you sell books to them. Smart. Good business. Tough to do when you're a senator, but they get away with it.
They do in secret.
Anyway, AOC, as according to a FoxNews.com story, AOC's campaign pours massive cash into a luxury Puerto Rico hotels, pricey catering, and a Bad Bunny venue rental. Okay, so let's get into this for a second. AOC campaign spent nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico between late June and September on luxury hotels, pricey meals, and a $23,000 on a venue rental at the same San Juan Arena, where she was spotted dancing in a suite at a Bad Bunny concert during the August trip to the U.S. territory. Yeah, it's definitely not a state, and it never should be. But anyway, $23,000 on Bad Bunny. There it is.
I'm sure it's just a fact-finding mission.
Yeah, videos emerged on social media from the August trip showing AOC visiting a housing development to rail against gentrification. Well, she's at a $23,000 seat? I mean, are you kidding me?
Nope. Listen, guys, you're going to be surprised to hear me say this. I do not blame AOC for this.
Oh.
I don't.
Oh, who do you blame?
I don't. I think that she is in hot competition with Jasmine Crockett for center stage. And as we learned earlier in this show, Jasmine Crockett has taken center stage nationally for Democrats.
And she doesn't care for it.
AOC used to be the belle of the ball.
Yeah.
So now she is teaming up with Bad Bunny, who will entertain everybody at the Super Bowl next February.
That's the dude that's in the Super Bowl?
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she is doing everything she can to reclaim the mantle of Democrat on center stage. And I think there's a fight happening behind the scenes among all of them to be the future of their party. And so she will stop at nothing to prevent Jasmine Crockett from taking what she has earned.
Well, it was an August 10 concert with Bad Bunny where she was dancing alongside Nadia Velázquez, a Democrat from New York, another representative, that was at the Bad Bunny concert on his residency tour at the popular El Choli Coliseo in Puerto Rico. But gentrification, fellas.
No, big issue
Can
on the minds of voters.
Can you imagine you represent New York, and then you're traveling to Puerto Rico to decry gentrification efforts?
Right.
What is your...
Right. Huh?
Okay. All right. Is there a clip? Oh, my God. Let's get the clip. Clip 8. Oh, there it is.
I mean, look,
Let's
man.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm curious, how does something like this, you know, when you are a congressional member from New York, how does this get itemized on an FEC report?
Well,
for the good people of New York.
Apparently not well. It's itemized for $23,000 on a venue rental. The venue was the Bad Bunny concert.
The FEC needs to take a look at that.
Oh my God. Just incredible. Great reporting from Fox on that. That's something else. You know?
At least they had fun.
Yeah, she's deeply proud of her investment in grassroots organizing, will continue to be active advocating for both people on the island and the millions of Puerto Ricans in the diaspora.
Oh, yeah. Diaspora.
Yep.
I like to say it differently.
You can.
I want to.
But I just think every liberal out there who watches MS now, chip in $5 so AOC can go to another concert. She's doing the Lord's work.
Great idea.
You can't, unless that suite is fully stocked, you know, she's not going to be able to advocate on behalf of the poor.
How will we bring communism to America if she can't attend a concert?
If it doesn't have a full catering budget, this is going to be something less than a full-throated effort. And gentrification. Don't forget that. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we're going to play a game. It's been a while since we played Dem or Journo. I think we got to go to the music, don't we?
Absolutely.
Dem or Journo, 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 Dem or Journo. Nobody knows.
That's hot stuff.
It is, and this is one of our favorite games. We don't play it enough. You know, every week we play King of the Hill. We do not play Dem or Journo enough.
No.
And I mean, I think that our longtime listeners understand how this game works, but anybody who's new, let me just tell you the sort of like the genesis of this game. You know when you read the paper that you're reading something that's written by a Democrat. And so what we've developed here is a game that tries to expose that. And the whole point, as you heard in the last line of the intro music, you never know whether it is a Democrat talking or it is a journo writing. But in this game, we offer 4 statements. 3 of them are written by journos. Mm-hmm. One of them is from a Democrat, and you have to choose which is the journo, which is the Democrat.
And Ashbrook procured the game today.
Oh, lovely.
So we get to be contestants.
And he, you know, he is somewhat of a connoisseur.
A fellow traveler,
yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
and today's game is a little bit of a walk down memory lane.
Okay.
Rewind a little bit to the Biden administration when journos were writing about inflation,
affordability,
and you might say affordability. They were writing about it very differently from how they write about it today. And of course, Democrats were talking about it very differently from how they're talking about it today.
Okay, what do we got?
So I'm going to go to statement number 1. You guys take notes or put your thinking caps on, and then you choose who is the Democrat and who you think is the journalist. Statement number 1. As we think about rising prices today, it's important not to lose sight of where we were not so long ago. There was no way to get an adequate recovery without some increase in inflation, especially given the bumps on the road. Today's inflation is not a sign that the stimulus was too large. It has to be weighed against risks on the other side.
Oh. I like it. Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember we got that a lot after the Obama stimulus?
Yeah.
Where when it obviously didn't work,
yes,
every complaint was, well, Republicans just stopped us from it being as large as it needed to be.
Yeah, it needed to be much larger in order to really feel the full fruit.
We were so close, but those damn Republicans.
Okay, all right.
Statement number 2. In Washington debate, inflation is crushing families. In real life, pandemic relief has eased the pain. Statement number 2. Is that a journalist or is that a Democrat or is there any difference between the two? That's what you have to decide for yourselves.
Okay.
All right, on to statement number 3. The anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act happened to coincide with a significant decrease in the inflation rate.
Oh, my God.
But the law was really about priorities like clean energy, drug prices, and corporate taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's statement number 3. On to statement number 4, Wolf. The economy is defying predictions that inflation would not fall absent significant job destruction. Okay, that's statement number 4. Now remember...
Hold on, can we pop that one back up real quick?
Now, I want you to remember, these are all things that were written when Joe Biden was president about the subject of inflation, okay? And remember that inflation under Joe Biden reached 9%.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I think we should just talk it through.
Okay.
We should batter it around a little bit.
Cool.
Okay, so the first one, my tell on this, the weighed against the risks is a very journo-heavy way of excusing inexcusable behavior. Because if you do something that doesn't work, it's impossible to disprove a negative.
Yeah.
So the risks in this case are the thing that didn't happen. So you don't know whether they'll happen or not. But if they're weighed against the thing that you don't know is ever going to happen or not, it can excuse the thing that didn't work.
Right. You could never be wrong.
It's journo trickery, and that for me is a journo thing.
Okay. See, I kind of read it a little bit the opposite way because it reminds me so much of the rhetoric that we saw after the Obama stimulus and everything else, which was the risks of doing nothing.
And this was B team Obama,
yeah,
so perhaps.
It feels very much couched in the language and rhetoric of the Obama recovery. And so I'm not saying
You're not
it's
committing
a dem. I'm just...
You're leaving it open.
I'm leaving it open.
Okay, all right. Number 2, if we can pop that one up. In real life, pandemic relief has eased the pain. Now, to me, this seems like a real judgment call, right? Because it's a declarative statement. Generally speaking, in journalism, you avoid the declarative statement. What I don't know is what the paragraph before is or after. And if I'm looking at, I guarantee the paragraph before it was something about how jobs have maintained and the economy, the stock market, and all these things. In that case, you could get away with saying something like ease the pain because I've just established in the paragraph before that my declarative statement is in fact true. So I'm going journo.
I'm going journo because I have a hard time thinking a Democrat would even admit in the context of a Washington debate that it was crushing families. I don't think they would be willing to concede that point, even though they're offering a parallel. You know, which a parallel does, I think it's also classic journo speak. In order to spin Democrats out of a bad storyline, they always offer a parallel of why this is actually a good thing. And for that reason, I think it is a journalist, but it also leads me into 3. Can we pop up 3 here? It's a similar sort of thing done here in that they're broadening out the context of the Inflation Reduction Act in that it's coinciding with the decrease of an inflation rate. They're giving the Democrats more credit than they would give.
Let me just read this one more time to remind the audience of what you're talking about. The anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act happened to coincide with a significant decrease in the inflation rate, but the law was really about priorities like clean energy, drug prices, and corporate taxes. That's number 3 that Michael was talking about.
Happened to coincide. Oh, it's just kismet. You know?
So this is where the game takes a game within itself. And I am hypothesizing about our game master here. This feels like a classic trickery to me.
Ooh.
It does.
A head fake.
Because what they're talking about here is a pretty classical journalistic deal if you were being honest. But we know that they're not being honest because they would do things like the other things that we saw. And what they're saying is that it did reduce inflation, no question about that, but we're moving on. This is what it's really about. And what it's really about, from my standpoint, is them, as the Biden administration did throughout all 4 years, communicate to an increasingly restless Democratic base with a Michigan problem.
Yeah, it's true.
About what it is that they were really up to.
Right, because they sold it as this was going to lower inflation.
Inflation Reduction
And
Act.
they were still going to pretend it was lowering inflation, but they have to give a wink and a nod to all the constituencies in the Democratic Party to say what this really was.
So my guess is it's like an early 2024 statement by a Democratic spokesman. I'm going Democrat on 3.
Okay.
3, okay.
And then 4 we have here. Can we pop up 4 again? The economy is defying predictions that inflation would not fall absent significant job destruction. I just have a hard time thinking job destruction is a thing a Democrat would ever say or admit to, even in the context of a debate.
Agreed with you.
And so I think that's clearly a journo. So I'm still...
And by omission, by the way.
Yeah.
They're saying, like, none of that happened. They're all liars.
Yeah.
And of course, the Inflation Reduction Act did everything to reduce the prices for which we're now dealing with.
Holmes, I think you've made a really good case for 3. I still, though, I just got this little itch.
I like your thought process behind it. It's persuasive.
I'm saying 1 is the Democrat. Holmes is on 3, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So, Duncan, you're saying 1. Holmes, you're saying 3.
Let's read 2 and 4, and then we'll get to the money.
Wolf pop-up number 2. Number 2 is John Harwood at CNN, who said in Washington debate, inflation is crushing families in real life. Pandemic relief has eased the pain.
Oh, yes, Mr. Harwood, as noted, a very serious journalist with integrity about.
So you guys were right. You identified that was a journalist.
Okay.
Lee put up number 4.
Oh, he's smiling. I don't like that.
Number 4 is the Democrat.
No!
Will Brainerd,
He
Biden's
fooled
head
us.
of the National Economic Council, who said the economy is defying predictions that inflation would not fall, absent significant job destruction.
Here's what I failed to think about is econ guy.
Yeah, he brought in a brainiac.
Econ guy. He's not a spokesperson.
Yeah, right.
Not a politician.
He's not a messaging expert.
No.
I feel like he sort of tricked us a little.
Yeah.
He brought in some brainiac wonk to say job destruction.
He was like, nerd.
Yeah, it's not like Karine Jean-Pierre's at the podium talking about job destruction. I feel tricked.
I feel tricked, too. I feel like there should have been some kind of a heads up or at least confining of the options.
Well, fellas, I think that aligns you with our audience who feels tricked by the mainstream media every single day. They never know who's the Democrat or who's the journo. Lee, can we go to number 1, please? And that is the Washington Post.
Oh, wow,
fellas,
boy.
that is a news article from the Washington
News
Post.
article?
That's not even.
That's not an editorial?
Not even John Harwood.
Weighed against the risks on the other side is such an incredible thing to print in straight news.
That is incredible. No, because it is the thing that we taught. It
Yeah.
is excusing the action that was demonstrably wrong by saying the action that nobody felt because we can't possibly hypothesize what actually would happen if it didn't.
Right.
Didn't happen.
And there were 2 or 3 authors on that byline. Lee, can you go to number 3, please, so we can see that it was the New York Times. And this comes from another news article written by Peter Baker. However, this language, fellas, this language is in the subheader. So we're told that that was written by an editor.
No.
Not
That's a
necessarily Peter
subheader?
Baker. That's a subheader from a story that Peter Baker wrote. And traditionally, for everybody who's listening, the journalist puts things in the paper, the editor writes the headline and the subhead, and the journo has nothing to do with that.
Well, I overthought it. I overthought that one because it was honest. I mean, the idea that what it was really about is all of those things.
But, like, honestly dishonest because, like, it's called the Inflation Reduction Act. So if you are a...
But that's what they're saying without saying
Of course.
you're a liar.
If they had
They can't do
an
that.
ounce of integrity, and that was the subheader, the first paragraph would say, so they tricked you and lied about what this bill did. Here's what it actually does.
Well, you would have done it when they were considering the bill,
Yeah,
which, of
right.
course, they didn't do.
If
They called it the Inflation Reduction, aimed at easing consumer pain by funding a whole bunch of fraud and green new energy.
Just imagine Donald Trump getting a single article like any of those pieces of shit
Not
we
gonna
just
happen.
read.
Nothing.
Not going to happen. And if you're wondering why nobody believes what they see in the newspaper, you have just heard for yourself why.
What a wonderful game. The game master duped us.
He duped us.
It's been a long time since nobody's won.
Oh, well, I mean, he brought in the Brainiac Wonk.
You can blame me all you want, but I prefer to blame the media.
That's true.
The wonk. Okay, a little bit of variety.
Yes. I'm looking forward to this piece.
Yeah, okay. So for those sports fans out there, a little bit of news this week. The University of Michigan fell on some hard times. Well, of course, they lost Jim Harbaugh a couple of years ago after a national championship and
Great
turned
coach.
to the great leadership of Sharon Moore. Well, that didn't work out because they fired him on Wednesday evening, and they fired him with cause. And shortly after you heard that they fired him with cause, he was also under arrest.
It was a wild turn of events in
was
college football.
Just an amazing, one of the blue chip programs in all of the country.
Right.
A national champion just a couple years removed.
Right.
And fired Michigan Wolverines head coach Jerome Moore, was booked into jail on Wednesday night after the school's athletic director dismissed him for having an inappropriate relationship with a staffer.
Mm-hmm.
Moore, 39, was in the, Washington? I don't know what the hell that county is.
Washtenaw.
Washtenaw? Oh, yeah, you're a fellow Michigander.
Lived there for a couple of years.
Of your life. That's where he was anyway. No charges were listed, and they were not listed on Thursday either, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's recent.
Curious that you can take the guy to jail and not tell everybody why he's going to jail.
Well, that's how serious they take their football in the great state of Michigan.
I'm telling you, when you open Twitter on a Wednesday night and you're looking for college football news, you assume that it's going to be like, okay, another coach fired, another coach hired into one of these open jobs, somebody's hurt heading into the postseason and the playoffs, somebody's complaining that Notre Dame didn't get in. You don't expect to see something like this.
So Pittsfield police said they responded to the home as a part of an assault investigation. Police said a suspect was taken into custody and that the incident does not appear to be random in nature. Police said the suspect was lodged in this jail pending review of charges. So I also did a little homework on this because I'm curious. It's college ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? We're Big Ten guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I followed it too. Twitter was high drama.
High drama. So John Bacon, great author, Michigan alum.
Yeah, he's written some great books too.
Yeah. His reporting on X would suggest that there was, that this gentleman Moore, Coach Moore, went to the subject of this infidelity and became violent, threatening. And he said that there could have been a knife involved.
Are you kidding?
No.
Listen, Bacon has written, he's written a bunch of books.
His stuff on Rich Rodriguez tenure
well,
is
that's
fantastic.
my point. Like, he is, among the people who are out there writing about Michigan, there's nobody better than him. I mean, I'm sure Portnoy has great sourcing in Michigan too, and he was tweeting all about it. But Bacon has written, the Rich Rodriguez book is incredible.
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
Mm-hmm.
So, is he a married man?
Sharon Moore?
Yeah.
Yes.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can see where this can become problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's good to know that something can get you fired from that job, though, not filming all of the opponents.
Well, he was he was unclear what the method of cheating was that ultimately got you fired from a job like that. He was
filming
he
the
thought
opponent.
What
a tough run for that team.
Somebody said cheating. He was like, yeah,
we do that here.
We're good. We're good, right? Not good. Not good.
Not good for the Michigan man.
The Michigan man is taking a real hit.
Standard.
Taking a real hit. Can you imagine if they would have made the college football playoff? Oof. That would have been rough stuff. Anyway, it's a real bump in the road for old Michigan in the Big Ten. It's going to be tough to come back to Columbus next year where they face Ohio State with that situation. I can only imagine what the Buckeyes are going to be talking about.
Wonder who they're going to hire now. I mean, there's so many openings out there in college football. I feel like they're in a serious competition for talent.
Well, it's a great program with a storied tradition and a great NIL program, a good donor base and
they
stuff.
got a lot of money.
They're going to have some options.
They're going to have options.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more things we got to get to. So, American skydivers reclaimed the world record from Libya with a massive flag jump on Pearl Harbor Day. This is according to Fox News. This was incredible because it included one of our friends and guests on the program, Tim Sheehy, senator from Montana. On Pearl Harbor Day, a team of elite skydivers flew a 3,200 square foot American flag in free fall over Arizona, nearly doubling Libya's recent mark and securing a new world record. So the Libya record was set early, like in October.
Okay.
And it was over Benghazi.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. And so, like, these guys saw the Libyan jump, and retired U.S. Army Ranger Jericho Demon contacted entrepreneur Jared Isaacman.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This guy's a
NASA
legend.
guy, right?
Yep. Legend.
About attempting to break the record because they couldn't let it stand. You can't have a Libyan hold a record like this, and they got Tim Sheehy involved. Anyway, is a clip of this 8A. That's the Benghazi situation with the Libyan skydivers.
We will make America great again.
Hell yeah.
63 days later, the Americans reclaim the flag jump. There it is.
Dude, look at that size of that flag.
Whoa. Incredible footage for our audio-only listeners. You may want to jump on the tubes for this one.
One of the 4 guys on that flag is Tim Sheehy?
Yeah.
What a stud, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing more American than that.
Just
where they're
get a
like,
big flag.
Well, and also they're like, hey, October they did this thing. Let's beat them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Libya hasn't been embarrassed in the sky like this since the Lockerbie bombing.
Oh, my God. Nothing like a little Pan Am humor to work things over.
The old man knows his history.
He does. He
I
does.
do.
Okay, clip 9 is cold variety. We don't know what this is.
Right here where that teenage bike rider took off and jumped across the street in this Gilbert neighborhood. He was going about 50, 60 miles an hour and traveled about 120 feet in the air. It's the video everyone is talking about on social media, showing a Valley teen doing his best Evel Knievel impersonation by launching himself on his dirt bike from one side of the street to the other. Rosa Garcia was not impressed. She says the neighborhood around Wrecker Road and Bloomfield in Gilbert is quiet with a lot of kids and families. Not the place where daredevil teens should be showing off. Shortly after the jump back on October 29th, the teen was arrested and his bike impounded. 18-year-old Sam Campbell spent a night in jail and now faces reckless driving charges.
Oh man.
This is the death of fun.
I mean, I don't know this to be true because I have no contact. Gilbert and Valley leads me to believe we're talking about Arizona here.
Okay.
And yeah, okay. Wolf confirms.
Gilbert's like a suburb of Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like a really quiet street.
Yeah, and it seemed like maybe the precautions were set in place where nobody's going to be traveling through the road while he was doing his jump.
Didn't see a single car.
Right.
You know?
And can we watch just Lee maybe with the sound off? I just want to see this feat of there it is, dude.
The height.
Well, and it's not like he built some elaborate ramp. There's just a natural depression on both sides of the road.
And he flew it and landed it perfectly.
Thing.
I feel like when you land it perfectly and there's not any damage to anything, that's a get out of jail free
Yeah, I mean,
card.
style points mean you can't get arrested.
Yeah, I think that's right. So we endorse whatever that was.
Free that man. And you know what? Arrest the Karen that was on camera.
Yeah, whoever that was.
She wasn't amused.
Hey, mind your own business, lady. We have another cold variety that I've procured today.
Oh, you know this variety. We don't know.
I do. Clip 10, please. What you're looking at is Cincinnati, Ohio.
What happens to all the big boy statues?
Oh my gosh!
All the big boys they close. They park them behind the big boy headquarters
Look at that.
in Cincinnati.
For our audio only
Look at his face. Look at Ashbrook's face.
Listen, guys, I know it's funny. It's a funny picture. What they've done to Frisch's Big Boy is unforgivable. Okay? Unforgivable. It's a great restaurant. They have so many things to offer. They have the Big Boy. They have the Buddy Boy. They've got a great chili spaghetti. They have a salad bar. If you've never tried the Frisch's salad bar, you are missing out. This is a wonderful restaurant, and what the man has
Just
done.
play that. Look, here's the B-roll. There's nothing. So the hallmark of a big boy is the big boy
on top,
who sits out there on top as a big boy. Right? I mean, that's like when you see it, you can see it for miles around.
It's the Statue of Liberty
for Cincinnati, Ohio,
for well-priced, convenient family dining.
And what they've done is tear them all down and preserve the big boy, believe it or not.
What do we got going on there?
So, like, for our audio-only listeners, this was an entire parking lot that was behind what appears to be like some kind of a corporate HQ, maybe that bought the brand or something like this, and where there are hundreds of big boys no longer standing, but sort of propped up between a fence and a brick warehouse in a monument to what once was.
Fellas, I know exactly where this is. I've driven down that road.
Oh, no.
Personally.
No, really?
Yeah.
Have you seen the big boys?
Before it turned into a graveyard of America. Okay? This is one of the worst things that's ever happened when
that's a new motto for Ohio. Ohio, the graveyard of America.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, fine. You're making fun. You can make fun all you want, buddy. But when hedge funds come to town and they ruin absolutely everything that you love.
Is that what that happened? It was a corporate takeover of the old big boy,
That's
and they didn't find value in it.
And they don't care if people like like the tartar sauce. People like what they get at Frisch's Big Boy. It's a wonderful restaurant, and they ruined it.
Little did the big boy know he was digging his own grave.
I mean, it's a shame that Big Boy isn't around, but they still have that Skyline chili.
It is.
Skyline's delicious, dude. I don't care what you guys say. You can say you don't like it. I don't care. I literally do not care what you say. I love it. It would be my last meal on earth.
Get red water on noodles.
It's so flavorful.
Flavorful.
It is so flavorful. You guys don't like flavor. That's your problem. That's your real problem. Is you don't enjoy a meal.
Second best SpaghettiOs.
You can't enjoy a meal. You guys, you can't do it. And I'm telling you, what you just showed me is a travesty. It is.
Yeah, I
It's
knew
a
that was going to be
travesty.
particularly painful. I'm sorry it was as painful as it actually was, but it was worth watching.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for indulging me. Remember our question of the day, which Democrat delusion is the most grand? We've given you a lot to think about this week on all that. When you like and subscribe to the Ruthless Variety program, we read all of your comments and get back to you the very next episode. We've got a Q&A situation at the end of the year. Throw a question in. We like and subscribe, and then we do that, and we read all of those too. We're going to be doing not one, but 2 episodes where we're going to answer as many of those questions as we possibly can. Check out some merch while you're there.
Yeah,
we
this
got
is
some
the
Christmas
day.
stuff.
This is the day to
as
finally,
you're listening.
Right.
This is it. Like if you want, there's a chance they can get there before Christmas if you order it after. But today, really, you want to pull the trigger on that bad boy because then we can make sure that it gets there.
It's a good reminder.
Good reminder. Anyway, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out all that stuff. With that, fellas, I think we did it.
I think we did it. If we had our friend Comfortably Smug, he would play us out. But since we
What do you mean
don't.
play us out.
What, to end the show?
To end the show? Got to go to Hen for this.
Gotta go to Hen.
Another banger of an episode, folks. So until next time, minions, keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs. We'll see you on Tuesday. Stay ruthless.